by the Institute of Postgraduate Studies and Research. There will be two topics in this seminar. The first in the morning is designing questionnaires for research by Dr. Raja Fauzi Musa. The second topic on literature review will be delivered by Professor Muhammad Anis in the afternoon session at 2:30 p.m. For this morning's topic, designing questionnaires for research, it is our pleasure to introduce to you Dr. Fauzi. Dr. Fauzi is a senior consultant and principal trainer. He holds first-class honors degree in TESOL from Morehouse School of Education, University of Edinburgh, Scotland, and a PhD in curriculum policy from Manchester University, England. He has more than 15 years of experience in lecturing and educational administration. His areas of specialization include curriculum development, pedagogy, policy designing, and management. He has been actively involved in research and consultancy and has published and presented many papers throughout his career. Ladies and gentlemen, may I present Dr. Raja Fauzi.
Thank you, Mr. Izzat. First of all, I would like to welcome you to this talk. And first, I'd like to thank CLT, especially Ms. Lim, for inviting me to this auspicious occasion. And I understand that most of you are here because of your KRA, which includes research. Right. So a lot of people will think that research is a big thing, but actually it's nothing too big. It sounds good, but it's actually what we do all the time, right? It's just finding out more and more. We do it all the time. For example, when we get to the kettle, we just touch it and see it's hot. We go, ow, that's research for you also. And we do it as a child. We always explore things and we see how things are. And from that research, we find out more and we understand more. So this is what we do as lecturers at universities. We do not actually take a curriculum from somewhere and just deliver, because we have to build our own curriculum. And that's why we have to do our own research. And when we do research, one of the biggest, the most popular tools will be questionnaire, right? And usually people will think research is usually to do with questionnaires. But of course, questionnaires would be one of the best for surveys. But research doesn't mean you have to use questionnaires. But when you do use questionnaires, we have to be very, very careful about how we actually use it. So designing questionnaire is a very important part of research. So basically, what about questionnaires? What are questionnaires? By the way, I'd like this to be more interactive rather than a talk, right? So basically, let's share ideas and let's go deep into this area. So, what do you think a questionnaire is? Well, basically it's a list of questions. That's why you have millionaire and questionnaire. Right? Lots of questions, like millionaire, you've got lots of money. So, yeah, it's a list of questions. And this is the thing. As researchers, we're talking about questionnaire being a tool that will answer your research questions. It is basically a tool to gather information, to gather data. And what else can you see it as? Of course, it's a tool, but other tools would be interviews, observation, probably document analysis, right? So this is actually quite the same as another tool, which is the interview. It's basically an interview by proxy, isn't it? Instead of asking people direct questions, you're asking them to fill in the form, which contains the questions you want to ask anyway. So when we understand that it's primarily a tool for data collection and that it is an interview by proxy, okay, then we know that later we'll see how the implications will be. Now, the strength of questionnaires is that it's very efficient. You can imagine if I were to ask each and every one of you one question, that's going to take a long time. So instead, I'll just give everybody a set of questionnaires, and when you answer together, and then we just correct. That makes it very efficient. Now, that in this context is simply just efficiency. But when you do research, one of the biggest things that you are going to worry about is the funding. Right? So funding means when you use a tool that is efficient, you have more data that you can get with a small amount of money. So instead of hiring interviewers, you just print questionnaires and up you go. You get more people, probably wider geographical coverage, and it's very fast. What are the good things about questionnaires? Yeah, basically it's a big coverage, yeah. Other than that, very important, it's cheap. And more about it is that it's good for measuring certain things. Okay? What can you measure using questionnaires? What do you measure? What do you ask people about? Sorry? Probably we usually ask people about their behavior. What do you do? Because we cannot stay and look at what people do. You can imagine if you were to ask people about their habits of going to the gym. Don't tell me you're going to stay outside the house and wait. When he goes to the gym or you wait at the gym, it takes a long time. So it's easier to ask the person what they do. So ask them about recurring actions or habits. In this talk, I'm going to use reading habits as an example. So it's easier to ask people what are they, how do they read, when they read, and so on, rather than observing. So one is behavior. What else? We're going to ask them about opinions. Right. So these are things that we cannot see. Therefore, we ask them. And instead of interviews, we use questionnaires, and that's why it's cheaper and easier to do. So views, preferences, evaluations, and so on. So what do you think of Utah programs? You ask the students, right? So they will actually give their opinions. Or else you cannot tell. Because sometimes they may sit there looking happy, but they're not. Right? Or they may look unhappy, but they're actually okay. You know, they're happy with the programs. So another one will be attitudes or emotions. So are you satisfied with the service? You have to ask people these questions. So for example, when you're looking at service satisfaction, you can observe, but it's better to do it through the questionnaires. So this is the thing is that questionnaires are very strong in gathering a lot of data on behaviors, opinions, and feelings. So that's where its strength can be. Now, features of good questionnaires. First of all, we're looking at the overall questionnaire, okay? Not the questions alone. Just a questionnaire. First of all, it's got to be easy to complete. Can everybody say that you like filling in forms? Does anybody like filling in forms? But so the questionnaire is like a form, isn't it?